everyone. Today we're on 33, aren't we, of A Course in Miracles. Yay, we're getting through it. We're moving through these lessons so wonderfully. I'm Janet Melody, by the way, and this is the course that has really brought me so much peace into my life, and I really wanted to share it with others on here and also make it a commitment for myself to get through it, to get to the end, the full year, because I've kind of got really far. I got to about 250, and then just life got in the way. I let life get in the way and I didn't finish it, and I kept having spaces in between that, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to go back to the beginning and really stick with it, go with one every day and move forward like that and see how this really brings the and I'm finding when I'm doing this, it's actually it's building that momentum, because when you let it go for a while, you get absorbed in your outer world, and then the external world starts affecting your internal world, and I don't want that. I want to really start getting a hold of my inner world in a way that the Holy Spirit is asking us to get to that place of peace that is there always. And once I feel that I land on it and really grasp it, like these lessons are getting us to do, it's slowly getting us to reveal the true inner world, the inner peace that is always there, but we're so distracted by what's going on outside that then turns to thoughts inside that, just creates all this suffering in the world. So let's keep going on to the next lesson, which is 33 today, and we're asked to remember this statement throughout the day. There is another way of looking at the world. There is another way of looking at the world. And here's what we're asked to do today. Today's idea is an attempt to recognise that you can shift your perception of the world in both its outer and inner aspects. A full 5 minutes should be devoted to the morning and evening applications. In these practice periods, the idea should be repeated as often as you find comfortable, though unhurried applications are essential. Alternate between surveying your outer and inner perceptions, but without an abrupt sense of shifting. Merely glance casually around the world you perceive as outside yourself, then close your eyes and survey your inner thoughts with equal casualness. Try to remain equally uninvolved in both, and to maintain this detachment as you repeat the idea throughout the day. The shorter exercise period should be as frequent as possible. Specific applications of today's idea should also be made immediately when any situation arises which tempts you to become disturbed. For these applications, say, there is another way of looking at this. Remember to apply today's idea the instant you are aware of distress. It may be necessary to take a minute or so to sit quietly and repeat the idea to yourself several times. Closing your eyes will probably help in this form of application. Okay, so what it's asking us to do is basically 2 practice periods today, one again in the morning and one in the evening for 5 minutes at a time. This time again using the statement and looking outside at the objects as you repeat that statement, then going inwards and looking inside, but doing it from one to the other in a very unhurried fashion. That's what it wants us to do. This really is trying to get us to, I feel, move from the perspective of being within what we see as reality and looking from a different vantage point. I know I've trained in NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and that's about, looking in the mind and seeing how our thoughts play out and projected into the world. And then if you shift that inner world, it can really shift how you are outside. So this course is a bit like that in what it's asking us to do, because it's asking us to become more of an observer of what's going on as we see our thoughts going outwards, and we also look at things outside our world and how they are also impacting on our world, to give us that detachment, to come away from it so we can see that, this is not a way to live that is of peace and love. A lot of the things that I'm thinking, I can see I'm creating that. I'm creating the problem there because I'm following a story in my mind. Because when I'm out walking as well, when I'm listening to my audio and listening to a story, the external world, when I'm listening to that story, vanishes and I'm in it, and I'm going on a journey. And it just goes to show you how the mind and where it goes can really change what's going on outside. It can change things in such huge shifts of a way. Another great teacher as well, if you've never heard of her, is Byron Katie. She became enlightened years ago, suffered from really bad depression, and suddenly just something awoke in her, and she's become this person of joy. You can see her when she's on. She's got lots of YouTube videos, and she has her work. The thing that she does is actually called The Work, and it's about asking these 5 questions to get you back to a place of peace. And they really do work, especially in relationships, because I find relationships can be the most triggering in our lives. They can trigger those things that we don't really want to see in ourselves, and when you feel a trigger, that you've gone into that ego aspect of your mind. It's so there are gifts in a way, your relationships are, because as soon as you feel yourself getting, it's your projection that's gone, that needs shifting, not the person outside. It's your mind. You can be at peace and let them be who they are in the world, but be who you are, and you are that true being of light inside. This is what today's lesson is all about. So doing those 2 practice periods, and also to remember throughout today to keep this statement in your mind, to keep reminding yourself of it when any situation arises. And it says, if a situation comes into your day that where you're distressed, to say, there is another way of looking at this, and to keep repeating that to yourself, and maybe go into a quiet space and just close your eyes and allow that message to go in and absorb into you, so that it calms you and it brings you that this way you're looking at it is not necessary. It doesn't need to be there. You can let it go. You can surrender it to the light, and allow that light to come in and bring you that lighter, higher perspective of the world. So that's what we're asked to do today. There is another way of looking at the world. Enjoy this, and we will be back tomorrow for lesson 34. Take care for now, everyone. Bye.